Hey everyone, got footage from the first travel race of 2023 this last weekend. Went down to Tucson, Arizona with the Alto Velo team. Had a whole squad for this, 8 guys in the Cat 2-3 race. Got to escape this recent Northern California rain and go play in 75-degree sunshine. This is a 3-day stage race. First day is a pretty short time trial, like 9 minutes or less if you're fast. Day 2 is a road race that was relatively short for a Cat 2 race, only 60 miles. Not that much climbing either. And then day 3 is a circuit race. It's like 80 minutes, also not a ton of climbing. So this is day 2, road race. Day 1 went pretty well for us. We had 2 guys on our team up in 7th and 8th on GC. They were 15 seconds off the lead. And then another 3 of us were at basically 45 seconds off the lead. So 5 of us within striking distance after the TT, which left us with a lot of options in this road race. We had the biggest team of 8 guys, but the field had 120 people, so still hard to control. We came into the road race wanting to get one of our 5 guys who was close up the road. And that's like what some of this commotion that you see is here is one of our teammates attacking. And the whole field responding. So that plan played out pretty well. We had a guy off the front in a 2-person move for an entire lap in this 3-lap race, and forcing other teams to chase. And then once it got brought back, we were right there to counter over it. And then still, even towards the end of the last lap, still had the moves flying. Where it was really a pretty solid display of teamwork, especially in the 2-3 race. There was some other teams out there this weekend and definitely did not see the same sort of cohesion from other teams. So pretty proud of how the team rode together this weekend. One of the defining features of the racing all weekend with our 120-person field was the center line rule. You can see we only have the 1 lane, and with 120 guys, that makes it a little tricky to move up sometimes, especially when the pace isn't quick. So you really had to be paying attention and trying to slide up whenever you could get spots. There was 1 section of road on each lap that had 2 lanes in our direction, so it was kind of a big swarm every lap as everybody scrambled to get up spots, because that was really the only time you can do it. Like, you could see how bunched up it gets here, and there's just really not much room to maneuver around. And then there was also a couple of random spots where like bridges would protrude on the right side, so that you had to be careful for. So now that we're up to speed with the happenings in the race so far, I'm going to skip ahead to the end of the last lap, the last like 20 minutes or so of the race, where the winning moves are going to be made. So this is coming into the second to last corner. See, they squeeze us in with the cones there on the outside. People were taking all the corners pretty slowly, which leads to this big slingshot. The Cat 2-3 field brought their Cat 3 handling skills for sure. There was a lot of crashes in this race and the following day. I had a guy crash right in front of me on the very first corner of this 60-mile road race. It was a little bit comical, but anyways, you see it get strung out of the corner, and this is a spot I mentioned where there's more than 1 lane, so this was usually a good spot to move up on the left, especially if you worked hard out of that corner and you were carrying speed into the back of the pack. It was pretty easy to slingshot up on the left. And so you'll see the field is bunching up here, and there's guys coming up on the left, and it's teammate Grant making a move there. Solid move. There's nothing off the front at that point, so now we're back in a good position where we're being the aggressor and other teams have to follow. And you'll see everybody has to pick up the pace here, and they'll start to drag them back. You see when you're riding a little bit further back in the pack like this, those moves, you're a little bit insulated from them. So like, we're not having to make a huge acceleration back here despite the pack following that move. So I think teammates are about to roll up on the left here. Yep, there they are. We got a whole train coming up on the left. We wanted to be up near the front if we were going to be coming into the final stretch because there wasn't really a lot of room to move up on that one-lane road. And so we got Austin dragging this whole train of us up to the front. I hop on Cam's wheel here, and I think I have 2 or 3 more teammates in tow. So I'm glad we were all able to find each other towards the end of the race. That's pretty critical because that last corner is at, inside the last 10K, so not a lot of time left, especially when you only have the one lane. And at this point, you still have Grant off the front, or maybe about to get brought back, and we definitely want to be up near the front so that we can counter over the top of that. A great time to attack is whenever a move is being brought back, and so your teammates are going to go up in that move. You should take advantage of that move being brought back and counter over the top of it. It's a great time to attack, and I think we're almost there. Yeah, you can still see this line of guys up on the front, so still chasing a little bit, but we've got the whole team in tow on the left side here. This is actually, I think at this point in the race, the left side was the downwind side, so good side to be on too. The wind actually was shifting throughout our race, which we had seen in the forecast beforehand, but it was an important little detail to pay attention to. What had been the downwind side on one lap when you came through the next lap might not be the sheltered side, so you had to be thinking during this race, and also getting over to the downwind side could be tricky when the lane was just jam-packed up at times. But here comes Andrea. You can hear me saying easy there because he came by us kind of fast, but Cam hops on, Jack's still in tow, we're all right there. He's going to finish pulling us up the rest of the left side, and right as we get up here, there's a move going on the right you can see, and Cam is all over it. You can see me and Jack both thought about going for a second there, and then both decided, let's let that wheel go. We don't need to follow that. Don't chase your teammates. And so now we have a whole bunch of us up near the front here. This was not the first time in this race where we ended up on the front and nobody wanted to come around, and so you're just sitting on the front, pedaling less than 200 watts, and you're letting that gap go out. And so nobody comes around us right away, which it's always kind of funny. And it takes them a little while to figure it out here. Like, they let us sit up front for quite a while, and not just me and Jack right here. You actually see in a second, look, there's like 3 more of us that all come up to the front, and at this point we're almost just clogging up the whole road. So it's kind of funny. I think it's like almost a whole minute later you just see these guys on the right side come up, and now they're gonna chase, but we're still, we're all right up here at the front. We're all over that. And that was basically what happened the rest of this race. There would be guys who would try to go like in 1s and 2s and not really make a big concerted effort together, and we would just be kind of sitting all over their back wheel, and it wouldn't go anywhere. And so the gap to that break, there was 3 people in the break, and they ended up staying away to the line with like a 20-second gap. And so that ended up being enough to put Cam into the GC lead, and with a 3-second lead going into the circuit race. So got footage of the circuit race too. I'm gonna make that in another video, so you have to stay tuned to find out what happens in stage 3 of the Tucson Bicycle Classic. So be sure to come back for that. Thanks for watching, everyone.